guys, happy to have you here tonight. Tonight's pretty special. I mean, I say that a lot, but tonight's about string art. Yes, you can take string, you can take rubber bands, you can take twine, you can take ribbon. So you've been sent a very, very special string art activity. And what's so special about it is the story behind it. Sometimes in life you get what it is, but the story behind it makes it that much more special. Well, first of all, get comfortable. I hope you have your supplies in front of you. That would be your string art. Now, I've already done several of these up for you, and there's not that many because this was kind of hard to do. But we're going to have a special guest join us tonight, and her name is Emily, and she had a great idea. So two minds working together, mwah, the magic that can come from that. But before I show you the video, I'm going to take you on a little walk first. So we created all of these beautiful, as you can see, string art, and this has a string already attached to it, the yarn attached to it. But it was all made from nails. So we had a beautiful piece of wood. We've added in the nails, of course, a hammer, but yours has already been added in. And are you ready for this? This is the best part of all. Ready? Can you see that? It's joy in Braille with the nails. So I think we're ready to meet Emily. Emily is going to join us, and I had a very fun little interview with her. So go ahead and bring in Emily, Tyler.
All right.
Thank you.
Had it up. Here.
Well, I'm pretty excited today because I have a guest with me, and actually this story is, we're doing this because this story is so cool. And it started out, I feel like I'm going to read out of a book, but I started out a couple months ago, and it was at the end of my shift, and I was kind of walking around, and I overheard some commotion. And it was a commotion in the, I don't know, where
assembly room?
Yes, thank you. In the assembly room. And there's all this carrying on. I thought, I gotta go check it out. So I walked in there and I sat down at this table. And beside me was she is the agency director, and her name is Emily Wharton. And just a minute, I gotta get to this. So when I sat next to Emily, by the way, she does a fantastic job. But she's incredibly creative, and so we were sitting there, and we were sitting with, I don't know what ages were, would you say 14?
Yeah, the teens.
The teens.
14, 15, I'm not sure.
Something like that. And so we're always being creative on what can be fun for these kiddos that they can do. Well, that's when the idea was hatched, born. So we were talking about how to create Braille and put Braille on a piece of wood. And I happened to be talking about it out loud, and that's when I learned that Emily loves to do woodworking, and on top of everything else that she does woodworking, and that is how I don't know what camera to show.
Pick one.
We have like 3 cameras in front of us right now. I don't know where to go. I'm going to show you. We're going to start with the end first because I want you to see the finished product. Okay, I'm going to pick this little camera over here. And here's the neatest part of this piece of wood. We're going to talk about how it was born, and then we're going to talk about the Braille on the wood, and then of course the nails at the top. This is string art. This is what we're going to do. This is what we're doing for Makerspace Monday night, is we created string art out of rubber bands, but that's okay. That's creative, having fun. But Emily, can you share with us how you went about cutting the wood and deciding on what type of wood to do and the tools you used?
So when we were talking about this, and grab my pen holder if you want.
Oh, your pen, yeah.
We can,
Oh, yeah.
because we were talking about my pen holder.
Yeah.
I just, I did this, and I'm not as good happy with the Braille on this guy as I been on other ones. But I took these Braille, these not nails.
They're almost like thumbtacks?
Yeah, they're almost like tack-like
Yeah.
nails, and so I put them in, and didn't do a great job. I just wanted to put the word joy on my pen holder, and it holds up my pen because everybody's kind of wanting me to sign stuff all the time. So I wanted to have a nice place to put my pen, and I had this piece of. I'm not blanking on this.
Is it?
It's the one that smells good, cedar.
Oh, I love the smell of cedar. I
had
love
this piece of
cedar
cedar
chip.
laying around, and I like to do hand carving too sometimes, and so I just kind of did this and then drilled a hole for the pen. And we were talking about this one day and putting Braille on things, and so and Braille into wood, and so I mentioned that, like, oh, we could just use some basswood because I like basswood, particularly when I'm doing like carving, hand carving. But it's also really good if you want to like practice on something. Because some projects are, and I just bought a lathe about a year ago, and it takes a lot of practice. I'm starting to get to the point where I'm feeling like I'm pretty good at it, but I make a lot of mistakes. And so you don't want to make mistakes as much on the more expensive pieces of wood. So basswood is the least expensive kind of piece of wood, and it's very soft and kind of forgiving in that way. So we thought, oh, yeah, I could just cut it. I've got a whole bunch of basswood laying around I use for practice. And so why don't I just cut you off some hunks of basswood? And we talked about...
And you measured it. We had to measure it, didn't we?
Well, we measured the nails, yeah. Because you had these nails, and what I was thinking is the nails were going to go down through here and needed to be at this thickness. So that's where we kind of came up with the thickness of it.
It's funny because it started out that way. It started out where the nails would go down through the middle of it, so like not in the middle of it. And I thought, wait a minute, that string art is going to cover up the word joy in Braille. And then that's when Darren, who by the way we'll meet later on, thought, let's put the joy in front of the string art.
Yeah.
And that's where that was hatched out.
So, one night after Denise reminded me,
This is so funny.
I went out the garage and I used my compound miter saw to cut just some slabs off of wood, and I use this tool to measure whenever I'm doing, measuring things in the shop. And Darren may show you a different one down there, but this is the one that's called a click roll. And so each time it clicks, that's a 1/16 of an inch. And each of the lines on here are a 1/2 inch. So we use one downstairs called a Rotomatic that's a lot like this, but this is one that it's a little bit easier to buy these days.
And I heard it clicking, yes.
Yeah, and so you just measure, you take it from the edge here. I should actually count from so I've got 1 inch, and I got 1. And then you need to go farther, so 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we're about right. 6 passed, so 6/16, which, if you know your fractions, reduces down to 3/8, and I hope I get that right on video. It's embarrassing not to get that right on video. And so that's 1 3/8. Is what we figured out we needed for the width of the nail. So I just cut them off at that length and brought them in. And then, Denise took the idea and took it to Darren, and it ran. So it was just kind of an idea that was, it's really cool because it was like a whole group idea and everybody contributed.
A definite web of people coming together too. But it was kind of neat though, because it was in the morning, I was in my office doing work, and then you showed up with this bag of all this wood. All these square pieces of wood, all measured just right. And
well, maybe not all just right.
Well, and pretty accurate, and just like butter. It just feels like butter, but you can just feel that the texture of the grain in it. But it was a great fun process. And now, over here on your left side, there's also a measuring. That's
so
pretty
this is
neat
another
too.
one that I use, and so sometimes if I've got something that's a little bit in a different shape where I need to measure, like I need to measure the thickness of my cane for a reason, and so when you can put it between these two pieces, and it clicks, and the coolest part about it is it has Braille on it. So right now, it says 0/16. And then if I go past, there's going to be Braille down here for the inches. It will. And then, so you feel the inches down here, and then I'll go back to 2. And then I got 2 and 1/16 there, because I'm 1/16 past the 2.
Wow.
And the dots just pop right up, and I can go, 2, 3, 4.
Should we measure this piece of wood?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. And it's kind of almost like a nice sturdy piece of plastic.
It is, and this is just one of the most ingenious things I've ever
Is
seen.
it 12 inches long total, like a regular ruler?
Uh-huh.
12 inches long.
So we got 15/16 here.
Is
Past the. Oops! If I don't move it.
You measure better than I do, Emily.
I hope
You
so.
just do.
I practice a lot.
You're more accurate.
So we got 2 and 15/16, so just almost 3 inches.
Oh, that's neat.
So yeah, because
Wow.
and then because this came out of like a 3-inch by 3-inch square. It's what they say. When you buy it front, they're always within like a 16th on their measurements. But yeah.
Well, we have 8 kids signed up that are going to be a part of this
Oh, yay.
Makerspace Monday night, and they're all going to be sent this in the mail. Of course, they're not going to have it already finished. They're going to be a part of creating it, and to understand what went into doing this is pretty special, and it, like you said, just all these people coming together to make it. That's pretty cool. And actually, I got to say this one more thing. So the Braille that's on the outside with using the different nails, and it was a smorgasbord of nails, trying to make it right, because that was like a whole deal in itself. I think we went through countless nails. But one thing that Darren is going to do, that he wanted to do, was after the students would go through the orientation center, and they create this cool piece of furniture, whatever that would be. He was wanting to create Braille on it in the nails. So he'll use this hopefully for the future to put their name on it in Braille using nails. So it's been pretty neat. But thank you. And a question, what are you working on at home with wood right now? Do you have anything you're working on?
Well, this is the prototype that I made out of basswood, and I was just kind of to see if I could how to make it. I made a present for all my nieces and nephews. I have 10 nieces and nephews, so for Christmas I made them a candle holder, which isn't a lot of fun, except
Yeah, I think it's fun.
except inside here there's I drilled holes, so there's a secret compartment on the inside, and there was cash in there, and cash is fun. So there's cash in there, and then there was a silver dollar or a dollar coin that hid the cash, and then the candle goes on top. And so I was trying to figure out how all the dimensions and to practice and do it right, so I did it out of basswood first to practice.
Wow, that's creativity. Yeah, and there is like a little hollowed area at the bottom, towards the bottom, where we can hide all the secret stuff.
So they can use it as kind of like a secret piggy bank, or so they can, if they've got a ring or something that they want to hide in there, they can. So.
Well, thank you, Emily, and I appreciate you sitting down with us. I know how incredibly busy you are, but this was pretty important, and I wanted to share the story behind it, so thank you.
Very fun.
And will you come visit us at Makerspace or at the library sometime and be a guest?
I would love to.
Awesome. Well, you guys, we got it taped, so now she has to come, right? Well, thank you so much, Emily. Have a great day, and I'll let you know some of the responses we get on the string art.
Oh, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so which camera?
Right, you.
Okay, well, wasn't that pretty special? I thought so. And okay, before we begin, we'll be so fast, but these are the challenge pieces that we had that took us multiple times of trying to nail in the nails into the piece of wood countless times. But here's the best part. You get to have fun with all the finished product and have it right there in front of you. You have string art with Braille on it. So here I have 4 different ideas that you can use just to kind of create a whole new look, just depending on what mood you're in. You know what, each month, you could probably create a whole new string art look if you wanted to. So I have on this one side, I have yarn, where you can take yarn and you can wrap it around. Now I'm going to suggest something when you do use your yarn. In your box that you received, you have received bunches of yarn of different colors. So you can do different colors, different textures, different widths of your yarn. But what I recommend doing, and I'm just going to pull out the end of this, is when you go, and you're probably going to need a couple hands, like a family, well, not a family, but maybe a friend to help you out. But I would start on this bottom piece, on the very bottom part of the heart, and then take the other end like so, and then wrap it around, and then just tie a little knot in this bottom part. So you'll tie a knot in this, you know, so it stays on there, just like so. So I'm just going to add this on here. Just wrap it around. And sometimes what does work is if you kind of put an end knot, an end piece on there, so you have something to grab onto, you can do that also. And so that extra friend that would come along into the room, they can put their finger on top of the nail so it doesn't come off the top. This is why I kind of chose rubber bands, because they grip better. If you feel a rubber band has more grippy power to it. So this is what, so you just tie a little knot at the bottom of this, and that extra knot helps, and then that extra finger. I would have Tyler help hold it, but he's busy producing, so he can't help. But so then you take your string, and you kind of want to just go up and down, zig and zag all about, just kind of zigzagging all about. So basically you get almost like a cobweb effect. So that is kind of an example of the yarn, but just a second, I do want to get to this piece with the rubber bands. I'm going to just go ahead and remove them because it's that easy. So you have, again, I sent out several different colors, but the rubber band is nice because it does grip it. I'm going to take this one off because this is the one I want to show you. Because no matter what, if you want to get the look of that heart part in it, the hearts, so the outline of the hearts, you want to do this one little step. So we're going to add in our nice thick rubber band. So we've got a nice thick rubber band, and you can kind of see where and actually I'm going to say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 total nails. And there's actually a specific size nail that was used for this. But you just kind of, what I've always found beneficial when you do this is start at either the bottom or the top center part of the heart. So you're just going to wrap it around, like get your open loop through the opening of the nail, and then just go like that. Just kind of go up to the next nail and then wrap it and then crisscross across. And that's all you're going to do. It's so easy. It's almost, how do you say, therapeutic. If you've had a long day, you can come in and grab your string art, take it apart, start over again. But this is where the part comes in I want you to pay attention to real quick. So I'm really happy that some of you are here tonight. That is great. And we've had all these snow events going on. All right, so we're going to take our little skinny little rubber band, which you've also received. Again, start at the bottom, and we're just going to go outline it so we can get a nice outline of our heart. So just wrap it around and maybe find a nail and wrap it around that. Got a lot of rubber bands on this. Hopefully you guys can see this okay. And then just take it around. And if you notice, our heart has taken shape. See that? So we have a lot of different rubber bands. You can do different colors. And this was even kind of fun, even for the holidays or, you know, Christmas, you can add your colorful ribbon with different smooth texture, almost like a felt cellophane or a kind of an aluminum foil feeling. And this is, I thought this would be fun to take in your, like a thin twine and then add beads to it. And then you get a whole nother look happening. So then you have this look. So you have beads in the middle, again, crisscrossing your different textures, rubber band, twine, or whatever it is you want to use. And then kind of wrap around a rubber band around the outside to kind of hold it all together. So I just want to thank all of you for being here tonight. It was really fun that Emily shared with us her story and how she cut the wood and all of that. And even Darren he went in and he personally put all the nails into each one of these pieces of wood. And then he even softened the edges. So if you notice on your piece of wood, edges are so soft and very smooth textured. And then you can even feel some of the woods of grain. And you know, each time you get a grain of wood, that tree's grown a little bit. But we look forward to seeing all of you again. And did you guys happen to listen to her talk about her candle holder? Do you guys think we should make that? I think we should do something with a candle holder, don't you? Well, thanks for joining, and we look forward to, hopefully a lot of you can make it for February 20th. We're going to have an actual fireman in the space, and well, not in the space, but you know, virtually. And he's going to share with you some tips and lots of really valuable information to keep you safe if we have a fire, and maybe some other surprises. Well, you guys have a great evening, and thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to next month. Bigger surprise yet. Thank you. See you later.